Hey guys, our main focus this week is dividing decimals. So the first thing that we need to do though is review long division. So real quickly, let's talk about what this is. Okay, so if you have a notebook, I really need you to take some notes. This is extremely important. Long division. Okay, so the first thing, let's review. Okay, if you have 462 divided by 3, okay, let's just do a one-digit number. What we do is we think about our first digit, okay? So, of course, we have place value in our quotient. So 3 goes into 4. If we have 4, how many groups of 3 can we make? We can only make 1. Now, what I always told my kids last year and in 4th grade when we did long division in 4th and 5th grade, if you're dividing by 3, you're thinking of groups of 3. You're writing your 3s. So if you're having trouble with that, you need to go ahead. You've got to learn your 3s, but you could start writing your 3s and start thinking, oh, well, this is one group of 3 is 3. 2 groups of 3 is 6. 3 groups of 3 is 9. 4 groups of 3 is 12, and so on. So we're just thinking about 4 here. So if we have 4, we can only make one group of 3, and that's what that means. We could put a little multiplication sign and say 3 times 1 is 3. That's what we were able to put into groups. So that would be 1 left over, bring down. And if you'll remember, we said, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? So we divide, and then we multiply back. That's where this comes from. And then we subtract. We subtract out what we were able to put into groups. We check to see if what we have left over is less than our divisor. And then we bring down. Okay, so we brought down our 6. So now we have 16. If we have 16, can we make groups of 3? Absolutely. So we could have continued on with our groups of 3. We have 16. We can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And we have 1 left over and bring down. There's 12. 4 groups of 3, and you'd have 0 left over. So we have 154 groups of 3 in 462. So that's what that means. If you have 462 of something and you wanted groups of 3, you'd have 154 in each group. Okay, so that's just a very quick review of long division. So we do have something else that we need to do. I'm going to clear it all. We have to review dividing decimals. So if you recall, let's make this go away. Dividing decimals. Okay, we're going to divide a decimal value. Like for instance, what if we said there was a runner? All right, and a runner ran a race in 467 seconds and let's say 0.8 of a second. Okay, and we wanted to cut that time in half. So we want this runner to get much, much better and so on. We want this time to be cut in half, which means that they want to divide that by 2 into 2 equal parts. We want to cut it in half. So what we do is we bring that decimal straight up, okay? Because remember we said that division, you have place value, don't you? Okay, you need to mark your lanes. They're like parking spaces, right? Okay, so I'm going to change my color again. Okay, so if let's go ahead and start as usual. We divide as usual, but we have to bring that decimal. You literally just bring it straight up, and then you forget that it's there. It's just like with multiplication, really. You go ahead and multiply out and then place your decimal at the end. Well, it's the same thing here, really, but you go ahead and float your decimal up. It's like a rubber ducky. It just floats up to the top of the water, and then you just divide as usual. If you keep your place value, you're going to be just fine. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is exactly 4. We have 0 left over. 0 is obviously less than your divisor. So let's bring down. Remember, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? We divide. We multiply back. We subtract. We check to see that our divisor is what's left over is less than our divisor. And then we bring down if we have another number to bring down. And if you bring down, you must repeat the whole process over again, right? Yes. Okay. So if we have 6, can we divide that by 2 or make groups of 2 with 6? Absolutely. 3 of them. 2 times 3 is exactly 6. 0 left over. We have another value to bring down, 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 2 times 3 is not exactly 7, so you're not going to write a 7 here. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is what we were able to put into groups with that 7. So 7 minus 6 is 1, which is less than our divisor. And then we bring down our 8. Now you'll notice I'm not doing anything else with this decimal. Okay, I don't need to bring it down here. I don't need to do anything else with it. I've already placed it where it belongs. Okay, so now we have 18. Divide that by 2. It is 9 because 2 times 9 is exactly 18. Almost running out of room. Okay, so that's 0 left over. So we don't need to do anything else. This is complete. We have no remainder. So what we're saying is if we have 467 and 8/10, if we put this into a real world problem and said, hey, this is a runner's time, could be a swimmer, this is a swimmer's time, and we want to cut it in half. So we want to train, and get faster and faster and faster. And we want to cut that time in half. So 467 and 8/10 divided by 2 would be 233 and 9/10. So if those were seconds, it would be 233 seconds and 9/10 of the next second. All right, let's do another one. Let's clear all. Okay. All right. 605 and 49 hundredths. And for whatever reason, we are going to divide that by 8. We don't know why. Okay, but we are going to make sure that we keep our place value, right? Remember, every single division quotient, that is, a quotient is the answer. It has place value. So when you have your dividend here, that's the number that's being divided. You have to make sure that you really have a response above each place value position. Okay? Because even if this ends up being a 0, that 0 is really a place marker 0 so that you keep your place value here. And we went through that a whole lot last year and in 4th grade. So please, please remember that is something that's important. Okay? If you're super skilled at division and you can keep your place value, that's different. But while we're learning, it's really important to go ahead and place that 0. But the first thing we need to do, first, bring up your decimal. Okay, now remember, we're just dividing by whole numbers. I could have made this 18, 28, 48, anything else. So actually, you know what? Let's make this 48. Let's do this, okay? Because we did this last year. We divided by 2-digit divisors. So let's just go ahead and do it. We're going to bring up our decimal from our dividend, okay? We need to mark our territory, mark our spot, okay? The next thing that we need to do is proceed as usual, okay? We don't know our 48s. We can't just count by 48s. But let's go ahead and get started. If we have 6, can we make a group of 48? I mean, we only have 6. That's not very much. Can we make a group of 48? If the answer is no, you write a 0. Okay, but if we have 60, can you make a group of 48? I hope you're saying yes. We know that 48, one group of 48 is 48. Two groups of 48, Well, let's think about that. 48 is only 2 away from 50, and 2 groups of 50 is 100. That is way more than 60. I would venture to say that only 1 group of 48 is going to make it into 60, and that would be a true story. So let's go ahead and subtract that out. All right, so 0 minus 8. Can't do that. So we borrow. It becomes 10. We have 2. And that's 12 left over. 12 is less than 48. So we go ahead and bring that 5 down. Okay, now we're going to have to do a little extra work. We're going to proceed as usual. Okay, 125. Well, let's start working some equations. I'm going to say times 3. Maybe we can fit 3 groups of 48 into 125. Let's find out. 8 times 3 is 24. That's 12, 13, 14. Oh, that's too much. So let's see what 48 times 2 would be. That's all we could fit. We don't have enough to put 3 groups. So that's 16. That's 8 and 9. So that's only 2 groups. It's 96. Okay, 5 minus 6. Can't do that. So this becomes 1. That's 15. That would be 9, wouldn't it? Okay, so 1 minus 9, can't do that, but that's, you could just borrow. That's 2. We would have 29 left over. So 29 is less than 48. Let's bring down our 4. Oh my goodness, this is a much bigger number. So we're going to have to do a little more multiplication here. Let's see if we can do this. Let's try 48 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. And 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 4 is 28. Ooh, it's going to work. So let's see. Ooh, that was kind of off the screen. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. But we did find out it's 288, and that was 6. We can't forget to put that above, or in our partial quotient in the quotient. I call them parking spaces, but those are our place value positions, right? We can't forget to put that up there. Okay, so 4 minus 8. Can't do that. So let's see. That would be 6. And 8 minus 8 is 0. That's a 0. Gosh, you guys, we still have another number to bring down. Okay, now we have 69 left over. We still have a place to fill, so that would only be 1 time. Only 1 group of 48 is going to fit into 69. And let's see what that is. That's 1 and 2. We'd have 21 left over. But y'all, this is a decimal number. We cannot just write a fraction. You can't have a decimal and a fraction. So does anyone remember, I want you to see in your mind, do you remember what we do when we have a decimal remainder and we're sitting here dividing? Well, we would write a 0 here, and we just keep on going with zeros until you either find that it's repeating or you find that you have 0 in your remainder. I'm going to have to delete just a teeny bit. I can bring that up just a smidge. Hang on. Let me see if I'm off our screen here. Yep, I'm off our screen. Just a second. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is erase just a little bit of this. We had 21 left over. Don't let me forget. So that's 21. And then we brought down that 0. Okay, guys. So 48 goes into 210. Let's see. 48 times, let's try 4. 8 times 4 is 32. That'd be 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, that's all that's going to fit. I know that for sure. Okay, so this one's a little tougher because we might just have to keep on going. But let's see. So that would be 8. I'm going to have to do it over here, guys. 8. 0 minus 9, can't do that. So that's 1, that's 10. We'd have only 18 left over. Oh my goodness. So we're just going to have to keep on going, but I've got to put this up here, we'd have to make another 0 and just keep going. We'd have 180. Let's see. Oh, it'd be 3 because this is the only, you know, you could just keep on going. Let's see, 180 minus 144. Y'all, I could just keep going. But anyway, that's how you long divide. It's really the exact same thing. You just have to bring up your decimal. All right. Let's see. Clear all. Well, let's do one more problem, okay? One more problem. Just dividing by whole numbers. Okay, let's do 560 and 42 hundredths divided by, let's just do a single digit number. Let's do by 3. Okay. Again, you have to maintain your place value. So I'm going to put my little place value lanes. That's not very pretty, but that's what that is. I could even put one there. Okay. So if we have, oh, wait a minute. What's the first thing we need to do? We need to bring up that decimal straight up. Okay. We have 560. If we rounded this, it'd be just 560 divided by 3. And then you'd have a whole number there. Well, actually, no. Anyway, so let's go ahead and look at this. If we have 5, can we divide that by 3 or make a group of 3? Absolutely, we can make 1. 3 times 1 is 3. We have 2 left over. Bring down your 6. You have 26. Can you make groups of 3? Yes, a whole lot of them. Almost 9, but not quite, because 3 times 9 is 27. We don't have 27. But we can do 3 times 8, which is 24. That would be 2 left over, right? Bring down your 0. If you have 20, can you make groups of 3? Absolutely. You can make 6 of them. That's 18. We could almost make 7, but that would be 21, and we don't have 21. You have to think about what you have, because division starts with what you have. Okay. 20 minus 18 is 2. Bring down your 4. If you have 24, can you make groups of 3? Absolutely, you sure can. You can make groups of 3. You can make 8 groups of 3. 3 times 8 is exactly 24. We have 0 left over. We have 2. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we can't do that. If we have 2, can we make a group of 3? No. If the answer is no, you write a 0. You have to have each place over your dividend covered with a partial quotient. All right, you'll notice how every single one of these are filled, even this 0. Very important. You have to have that place value, because guess what? That means that we're going to write a 0 here, and we still have a remainder. So we have to put a 0 here to keep on going, and that makes this 20 all over again. Or it makes it 20. Over here, we said, okay, 3 goes into 20. How many times? 6 times, which is 18. Same situation. We're going to end up with a pattern, a repeating pattern. I wish you could see this all the way down, minus 18, which is 2. We wind up with this same situation right here. So what's going to happen is we're going to say, oh, wait a minute. Here's our place value here. So that's 18. We're going to have a repeat. And that's going to be another 6. And that's going to be 18. And then we're going to have 2 left over. And then you're going to have to bring another one down. And then it's going to be another 6. And then another 6. It's a repeating number. So you have to put that sign above it. We'll go over that some more later. But you'll see that your decimal, all you do is you just divide as usual, bringing up that decimal, and you'll be good. Okay, so practice those. Here's what I'm going to say. I want you to try 2 problems. I want you to try this problem right here. I want you to try 400. I always pick the same numbers, I swear. 402 and 5/10 divided by 5. And I want you to submit this to me, and I want you to tell me how you place your decimal in your quotient. Your quotient is this right here, quotient. How do you place your decimal in your answer, and then you need to solve it. And then I want you to do 692, 15, 20, okay. Okay, I'm going to do that divided by 3. Okay, so I want you to do both of these problems. I want you to solve them completely and submit those to me as evidence of learning. And I want you to, this is part of your assignment, tell me how to place the decimal in the quotient. Okay, so solve both. All right? I just know you can do it. You've got this, and I will see y'all in another video.